Before I get into this week's video, I need to give a shout out to Wix.com for sponsoring. Ever want to build your own custom website, maybe an art or job portfolio? Wix has you covered. Click the link in the description down below to get started for free at wix.com/go/sugar. And so, yada yada yada, to sum things up, he totally just left me hanging. Like, what am I supposed to do at that point? I hate it when people don't take my problems seriously. Dude, yeah, for sure. You honestly deserve better. Ha! Ain't that the truth? It's nice to know that at least there's someone out there that cares. Yeah, I totally feel you. Like, earlier today, I was in class, and this guy just totally whips out his, yeah, sure. I'm sorry, you still there? Hello? Sorry, I actually have to go right now. Talk later, bestie. Thanks for the rant sesh. What? Toxic relationships can be hard to spot. Sometimes when you make a friend, you don't see the red flags right off the bat. It's just nice to have someone to spend your time with. I'm all for giving people the benefit of the doubt, however, there are some relationships you need to take initiative and leave. I've been in abusive relationships before, but today I'll focus on my first toxic friend. When I was in 4th grade, I made 2 friends. They were the kindest people out of the whole class. The first girl was more like me, she was shy, loved to draw, and loved to joke around. The other one was more extroverted, participated in school councils, and photography. Me and Splenda never had interest in those things, but somehow we were all part of the same group. I couldn't see the signs back then, but my second friend was toxic. As long as Splenda was with me, our group was able to have a great time. When me and second friend were together, it was completely different. We had to do whatever she wanted. I had to like whatever she wanted to talk about. I basically had to agree with her word for word. I was used to being the second wheel. I'm an empath, it's what we do. She would try to get me to watch inappropriate videos, and as she described them, I had no idea what she was even saying because I was super innocent. Hey man, I just want to play on the jungle gym. I'm not quite sure what you're even showing me. In 6th grade, we were doing a charity for those less fortunate to get a better education. There were multiple debates about what to name the charity. They were going back and forth between pennies for peace and dollars for dreams. I thought both of the names needed work and came up with the name Dollars for Scholars. Second friend was in the class council, so I told her to give them the name, but make sure to credit me. She agreed to the terms, but when it came to giving the name, she took the credit. And that was the last time I told anyone my ideas. I decided to just move on because it's just a name and we're still friends. It's not a big deal. We stayed friends throughout middle school. Splenda had to take major time off during that time because she needed hip surgeries that were life-threatening. If she didn't get them, she would have walking problems for the rest of her life. One day, second friend comes to me and starts saying things like, "Isn't Splenda stupid?" What? Yeah, she's a terrible friend. She hasn't been here in a while. She's legit in a frickin' hospital! Yeah, but when she comes back, we don't have to be friends with her. I'm sorry? I'm the only friend you need. Let's just ditch her. Yeah, okay. Splenda never came back to school. Her recovery would take a really long time. I didn't own a phone back then, and the internet wasn't that prevalent, so I had no way of keeping in touch with her. And eventually we just kind of lost ties with each other. Second friend started to become more and more toxic each day. Anything I liked she would make fun of, any belittling comment she made, she would. Any political ideology I had was invalid. Basically, my existence was below her at that point. I became her dumping ground for all of her emotional issues. However, when it came to what I was feeling, yeah, so I think I'm sad because honestly, just get over it. Your problems aren't as important as mine. Why don't you just move on? Why don't I just shove my shoe up your... I got really good at giving robotic responses when she ranted about her issues. I used to ride my bike to school, and since second friend's house was on the way home, I would ride my bike next to her until she got home. Over time, she decided to walk home with cooler friends she would talk to instead of me. Don't get me wrong, I tried to get into the conversation, but they just ignored me. I would get really bored and start trying to pedal away. However, where do you think you're going? We won't be friends anymore unless you stay with me. I felt trapped. I could leave the relationship, but then I'd be all alone. Over time, though, the thought of that seemed to be more appealing. If you live in California, you can count on a yearly school trip to Disneyland. The 8th grade trip was coming up, and I knew that if I went with her, she would have us do whatever she wanted, and it would be a miserable time. Luckily, I was able to meet some cool people in my PE class 2 weeks before the trip. The day of the trip, I sat next to second friend on the bus. She already had a group of people she was gonna hang out with, so did she even need me? I'm just her dumping ground after all. Once we got off the bus, where do you think you're going? With them. Sad to say, I don't remember any of their faces. But for the first time ever, I stood up for myself, and I had a great Disneyland experience with them. For the first time, I felt like I was part of a friend group. And even though we moved on to different high schools, whoever you guys were, thank you. Why do I tell this story? This applies to kids and adults alike. No matter what stage of life you're in at this moment, listen. Even if you make a friend, you don't have to stay with them. You can leave any time. Friendship needs to go both ways. This is a give and take situation for both parties. You don't need to stay friends if you feel like the other person keeps taking and giving nothing in return. Sometimes spending time alone is better than spending time with someone that doesn't give you the time of day. I need to give a shout out to this week's sponsor, which is Wix. Whether you want to build an e-commerce website or get freelance clients for your art and creativity projects, or if you just want to build your own portfolio, head on over to Wix.com and sign up for free at wix.com/go/sugar. There are so many add-ons and plugins that make using the site a powerful tool to designing your own personal website. There are so many different formats and options to choose that make customizing your site as easy as possible. I've needed a place where I could create my own personal portfolio for a while now, so Wix was absolutely perfect for me. I had a total blast going through the different templates and settling on a few to build a site for my art. I'll add more to it in the future. I'll keep you updated, of course. Aspiring artists out there, you should also really consider trying it out solely for the fact that it's a super simple and usable tool to building your portfolio for sending to businesses while you're in the application process. I highly recommend it using the link in the description to get started for free at wix.com/go/sugar. And a huge thanks goes to them for sponsoring the video. Go check out Wix.